As the table turns, so goes the soundtrack of our lives. Hey VC, this is Carlos from As the Table Turns. I wanted to come on here and do the Vinyl Guru's 5 albums. 5 album contest. I had to look at it right there. What we're listening to right now is Lee Fields. Just picked this up at RSD. So Lee Fields, Let's Get a Groove On. Really funky, soul-filled album. Yeah, definitely you should have picked this up if you didn't. It's his first full-length album on Daptone, which actually was Desco Records, but then it turned into Daptone. But really awesome album. That is not one of my top 5, just showing you what we're listening to. All right, and let's see here. So I kind of thought along the lines of, if I had to introduce someone to a genre, what would I pick? That's kind of how I thought about it. Anyway, so if you are not into folk rock, don't know about it, I would give you this album. It's not one of the beginning albums of folk rock, but I think it's a great example of folk rock. And they have their own style too, so it's kind of, it kind of is folk rock, but I think it leans, I don't know. It doesn't lean totally folk rock, but it's their own thing. The band is just amazing. Rick Danko, Robbie Robertson, Levon Helm, Garth. And I'm forgetting the other guy's name. Richard something. Forget his name. It says right here, Garth Hudson and Richard Manuel. So you got Garth Hudson on the organ. He's just kind of an amazing organist. He plays an instrument called a clavinet on a couple songs, I think. He plays piano, accordion, baritone sax, slide trumpet. He's just a multi-instrumentalist that I think he studied classical music. So he was very much kind of a composer for the band, and he didn't compose and write the songs, like the lyrics to the songs or anything like that, but he was very much, I believe, in the studio, down in the basement with the basement tapes with Bob Dylan, was very much a part of the sound and creating, okay, well, we should put this here and we should put that here, I'm sure. He had to have been. Then you have Levon Helm, amazing singer while playing the drums, one of those type people. Rick Danko on bass, and Robbie Robertson on guitar, lead guitar, and Robbie Robertson, was pretty much him. I think him and Levon were kind of the songwriters for the band. But great album. Across the Great Divide, Rag Mama Rag, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, that's kind of their big hit. Up on Cripple Creek, Whispering Pines, Jemima Surrender. All these songs are just so amazing. Jawbone, King Harvest. This is definitely an album that I would tell people to look into. I'll leave a link to some of the songs and where they can, find it or whatever. This is the Mobile Fidelity version of it, but I really love the album, so I was like, I'm gonna pick up the MoFi of it, All right, so then if you, I'm gonna do a little cheat here. It's not a cheat sheet, and you don't, whatever. I'm gonna show 6 albums, but 2 of them are kind of, for me, they're a jazz starter kit. So I would tell someone, and I know that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, don't tell people vocal jazz, don't tell them Chet Baker sings. But if you're really trying to get someone into a genre, you're not going to try and go for the craziest, most niche kind of out there thing, right? And yeah, so you're going to start with something a little bit more basic, a little bit more simple. And I think that some people love his voice, some people don't like his voice, so maybe this isn't the best choice, but I really love Chet Baker's voice. I'm a big fan. And I think this is a great way for people to get into jazz. Chet Baker sings. So yeah, just his voice, the arrangements of the songs, I think is beautiful. I'm a chilled person. I'm not like crazy, so I like a lot of slow, chill music most of the time. Yeah, this is very much that. So you could have your morning coffee with it. You could, listen to it at night. You can listen to it while it's raining. You can listen to it while it's windy and the leaves are blowing. And I think this is such a great album. Yeah. Definitely listen to that. But it has, jazz standards on it, That Old Feeling. Let's see, My Buddy, But Not For Me, Time After Time, My Funny Valentine, The Thrill Is Gone, Look for the Silver Lining. All those just super, they're gems in my book, gems. This is not a vocal jazz. This is something where you're going to hear 2 saxophone players, 2 tenor saxophone players just play some blues for you, basically. And it's, Coleman, Hawkins is kind of the grandfather of making the saxophone the centerpiece of jazz. And Ben Webster, his breathy, airy, sexy tone is unmatched. I would say that if you're in a very sexy mood, this is an album to listen to. It Never Entered My Mind is probably, in my book, one of the sexiest songs ever. Just Ben Webster, once again, with that breathy, kind of sexy, sensual tone of his, just kind of puts you in a mood. But yeah, Coleman Hawkins encounters Ben Webster. I would definitely highly recommend this to someone that's not into jazz. That, once again, this is an album you can put on late at night and just listen. Anyway, 2 masters of the tenor saxophone, and they will make you want to listen and dive in deeper to jazz, I believe. So that was my jazz one. As far as, just getting someone into jazz, this would be the next step for me. After listening to those 2 albums, this is the next step in the jazz lineup in my book, as far as taking you to that next level of virtuosity. Bill Evans is just, he is a virtuoso. But he does it in such a way that it doesn't take away from the song. He's not just trying to show you his talent. Him and Scott LaFaro and Paul Motion are definitely, they meld together to create this sound. And his playing, Autumn Leaves on this, and Blue and Green, amazing songs on this album. I love this whole album though. This is how I was introduced to Bill Evans. I think this is his best album. Or the Bill Evans Trio. I think this is their best album. I know a lot of people talk about other albums, you know, Sunday at the Village Vanguard and other things like that, but if you want to get into jazz and you've already kind of dipped your toe in, you like a little bit of what you're hearing, you know, with the softer stuff like that and, you know, easier stuff to kind of listen to, this is kind of a little bit of that next step. It's not going to be hard to listen to. It's going to be pretty easy to listen to, but it just takes you up to that next level. So I would definitely get that. Portrait in Jazz, Bill Evans Trio. All right. Songwriting, lyrics, country music. I would, and I know he's gotten a lot of, you know, fans in the last year, 6 months. Especially for first drop Record Store Day, and this is when I picked this up, but I had heard about John Prine a while back and had been following him prior to his death, and really love this album. For the songwriting alone, it's just amazing. Illegal Smile, Spanish Pipe Dream, Hello in There, yeah. Great album. If I was to tell anyone about country music, and that's what country music is to me, man. It's the songwriting, and I think take it back to jazz. You know, Charlie Parker used to listen to country music, and people would come up to him and go, "Why are you listening to that stuff? That's so lame." And he would go, "The songwriting, man. If you listen to the words." Country music, that is what country music is all about, you know. Yes, it's the playing, it's the sound, it's the voice, it's the singing, but it's the lyrics that I think take country music to where it is, you know, and make it what it is. So John Prine, debut album, self-titled album. And this is my last one. Reggae. Bob Marley, Catch a Fire. I don't know if this is necessarily the album that you tell people. This is kind of more like my favorite album by him rather than the album that I would tell people to get for the first time. But I still think, you know, I don't know. I love reggae so much that I think you could get into it no matter kind of where you dip your toe in. But this is, you know, an amazing album. Concrete Jungle, Slave Driver, 400 Years, Stop That Train, Baby We've Got a Date, Stir It Up, Kinky Reggae, No More Trouble, Midnight Ravers. I mean, maybe Baby We've Got a Date, and that's it. That's probably the weakest song on this whole album. All the rest of them are like killers. They're hits in my book. So this front to back to me is an amazing album. This is what I would tell people to get and to listen to if they want Bob Marley reggae, you know. So that is my 5 albums. Yeah. So I guess I'll hashtag it, and I will talk to you guys later. Hope you like it. And this is a fun contest. It was fun doing this. Yeah, it was easy, and I was able to grab albums. Even though I don't have, you know, you're going for 2,500 albums, Vinyl Guru, I'm at 250. So I'm at a tenth? Yeah, a tenth of what you have. So anyway, but I could easily pick out the albums that I thought were the best, so that's why it was easy. So anyway, I'll talk to you later, VC. Bye.